Hello and welcome back to the show. Now, an independent review of the government's counter-terrorism policy, known as PREVENT, has been released, carried out by writer and broadcaster William Shawcross. Well, it suggests 34 recommendations to the current strategy, which were all accepted by the government, and concluded that the programme is not doing enough to counter non-violent Islamist extremism. Well, Hebe spoke to the Counter-Extremism Group, a UK think tank, whose mission is to provide practical solutions to the growth of extremist ideologies. Well, here's more.
So William Shawcross's review into the functioning of the PREVENT strategy, I think, is one of the most important contributions to countering terrorism in this country to date. PREVENT has always been a controversial area within Britain's counterterrorism apparatus for a number of reasons. So there's a civil liberties angle. There's also perception among some that PREVENT stigmatises Muslim communities, a perception that the Shawcross review did not find any evidence for. But this has never gone away, to the point that PREVENT is almost synonymous with the word toxic in the mainstream media. And this review came about in part, I think, as an attempt to just put this to bed, to really say what actually is PREVENT doing, is it working, what are the ways in which it can be improved, and in a way, to the critics, show us your evidence, let's assess it, and let's fix the problems and actually get on with properly countering radicalisation and terrorism in this country.
A huge finding within the review was that the government needs to focus more on Islamism rather than far-right extremism. While both are really relevant issues right now, it found that, far-right extremism has been focused on much more in recent times. How is the government taking the review? What are they going to do to shape going forward?
The government has responded to the review by accepting all 34 recommendations to some degree, which I think should be welcomed. And in particular, it's very clear, the government, that it wants to address this de facto double standard that William Shawcross identified. Mr. Shawcross was clear that this wasn't official policy, but had emerged. And so what the government is really tasked with is kind of creating a cultural change within PREVENT. They're going to have to deal with the institutional timidity or squeamishness around really addressing Islamist extremism, and that will be hard. And that comes in a variety of ways. That comes by vision and leadership at the top, and I think we saw that with the Home Secretary and her response to Mr. Shawcross's review. But it also comes with empowering staff at all levels of PREVENT to feel confident in the decisions they make, and key to that will be improved training. I know that can sound very bureaucratic and almost insufficient when we think about this is a counterterrorism strategy. This is crucial. The answer can't just be better training, but actually training is hugely important in giving the staff the ability to spot to understand Islamist extremism, the way it's deployed, the narratives that are used, how it is attracting young British Muslims in this country, and giving people the confidence to identify and tackle that. So that will be a key way in which the government responds to the review.
Are you worried this is going to spur on prejudice in this country towards Muslim communities?
My biggest worry is not that PREVENT will fuel that perception and grievances. Rather, the very vocal anti-PREVENT campaign, a coalition of groups that have never wanted to see PREVENT succeed. And in some cases, partly because there are elements of the Islamist ideology that they believe in, and they position themselves as almost like a vanguard or a representative of British Muslims, which they're absolutely not. But these groups have developed a powerful narrative, and it has resonance within British Muslim communities, British society at large, and the British media. And I think that's incredibly damaging, much more than this review or the PREVENT strategy itself. I think we have to remember it's an entirely legitimate exercise to try and deter people from terrorism. Far, far better that this is gripped early and prevent all of that. Much more appropriate that this strategy is seen to succeed, and we have to do. I think we have to support that.